Good day, everyone. Welcome to this presentation on how to obtain an ITF compliance certificate in Nigeria to facilitate securing a government and private contract. Today, I will guide you through the entire process from understanding what the ITF compliance certificate is and why it is essential to a detailed step-by-step application procedure, and finally the costs involved. All the information I share comes directly from the official ITF practice procedure and related authoritative sources. This certificate is critical for companies bidding on both government and private contracts, as it verifies that your business meets its statutory training and employee welfare requirements. Let's move over to the slides for more interactive session. Okay, we'll now start by asking ourselves, what is the ITF compliance certificate? The ITF compliance certificate is an official document issued by the Industrial Training Fund in Nigeria. It confirms that your company has met the statutory requirements regarding social insurance, training contributions, and employee welfare. Essentially, it serves as proof that your business complies with national regulations, which is often a prerequisite for securing significant contracts. The certificate demonstrates responsible corporate governance and helps build trust with government agencies and private sector clients. In simple terms, the ITF compliance certificate is like your company's seal of approval that shows you are legally compliant and a reliable business partner. We'll now take a look at why ITF compliance certificate matters for your business. Why do you need it for your business? The first is contract eligibility. Most government and major private contracts require proof of ITF compliance. And also, ITF compliance certificates signals to stakeholders that your business respects statutory obligations related to employee training and welfare. Also, the compliance certificate reduces the risk of legal sanctions and penalties that can arise from non-payment. The certificate also ensures that companies with a valid ITF certificate enjoy a competitive edge when bidding on contracts due to their verified compliance status. So this certificate is not only a legal requirement, but also a valuable asset that strengthens your business reputation. Okay, we'll now look at who needs an ITF compliance certificate. The ITF compliance certificate is mandatory for companies with a turnover over a specific threshold, often 50 million naira, which determines the scale of the training contribution. Also, businesses employing a minimum number of staff, usually calculated from the salaries of at least 5 employees, they need it. Then both government contractors and private companies that require the certificates as part of their bid documentation needs it. Also, organizations across various sectors, including manufacturing, services, and construction, they need it. So if your company falls under these categories, securing an ITF compliance certificate is essential for operating and competing in the Nigerian market. Then let's now move over to the key documents and information required before the compliance certificate can be issued to you. Okay, before you start the application process, you must gather and verify the following documents. The first is a CAC certificate, which is a proof of your company's registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission. Then also your tax identification number and tax clearance certificate is a very important documentation. They ensure your tax affairs are in order. Then thirdly, the employee payroll record. The detailed records are necessary since the ITF remittances is based on the total salaries of at least 5 staff. You have to have that handy. Also, another very key document is proof of ITF contribution. So these are documents such as the receipt or bank statement showing previous remittances. Then your completed ITF application form. The form is available on the official ITF website. Then there are other additional documentations which goes to prove your company's details, your address verification, and other materials that will be needed from the ITF guidelines. So having all these documents ready and accurate is essential for a smooth application process. Then let's now take a look at the ITF fee and contribution components. Let's break down the key cost components. First and foremost, you have to have your audited account ready, and the cost of preparing an audited account typically ranges from 30,000 naira to 150,000 naira. These costs may vary depending on the complexity of the company's financial records and the engagement with an auditing firm. And another cost that you have to put into consideration is the training contribution. Employers are required to remit 1% of the total annual payroll of their employees to ITF. The cost of this contribution varies based on the size of the company's workforce and its annual turnover. New startup company fees may be different. New startup companies with fewer than 5 employees may be required to pay a fixed fee of 120,000 naira for ITF compliance. And also there are penalties for late filing. Failure to comply with filing deadline incur penalties of 5% of the unpaid amount for each month of default. So it's very important that you make your remittances on time to avoid paying penalties. Then for professional fee, engaging professional services for compliance processes such as assistance with filling the forms and navigating the regulatory requirement may incur a fee ranging from 100,000 to 150,000. This depends on the professional that you engaged for this service. It can be less, it can be more, but this is the range that you have to have in mind when you are making the application. These fees ensure that your company complies with the legal requirements related to employee training and social insurance, while also maintaining your eligibility for contracts. Okay, let's now take a look at the step-by-step process for obtaining the ITF compliance certificate. The first step is enrollment with the ITF on this ITF platform. If your company is yet to register with the ITF, you have to visit the ITF website and complete your enrollment. You make sure all your corporate documentations are up to date. Then after you are done with enrollment, the next is documentation. You have to gather all necessary documents, which includes the CAC certificate, your tax clearance certificate, employee payroll record, and proof of prior ITF contributions. And you have to ensure the information you provide are accurate and up to date. Once you are done with your documentation, the third step is you complete and submit the application form. You download and fill out the ITF compliance certificate application form, which is obtainable from the ITF website. After you have done that, you have to attach all the required documents and submit your application online. Once that is completed, it's very important now that you calculate the fee that you have to pay, and the remittance is it stands at 1% of the total annual payroll of your employees. Let me repeat, 1% of the total annual payroll of your employees. So you have to have that at the back of your mind. And then for new startup companies with fewer than 5 employees, they should pay the sum of 110,000 naira. And also you have to ensure you pay on time to avoid the penalty of 5% on any late or unremitted amount. Once you are done with your payment and remittances, you have to now wait for the ITF staff to do their own part. They will have to review your application, verify all submitted documents and payroll to ensure that they confirm with their requirements. And also, you have to ensure that your remittances are correctly calculated and paid so that there won't be any delays. Once you have completed that, the next is the issuance of the compliance certificate. Once they have verified and approved your application, the next will be to issue you the compliance certificate. So following these steps diligently will help you secure your ITF compliance certificate without delays. Let's take a look at some practical tips for a successful application. Very importantly, you have to prepare early. Make sure that you sort out all your documentation as soon as possible, and then you have to double check all the data that is contained on all those documentation to make sure that they are accurate, so that there won't be conflicting documentation. Then you have to make sure that you remit on time, so that what you pay is just that 1%, in order to avoid paying the extra 5%, which is now penalties. Then you have to keep record. You maintain copies of all submitted documents, particularly your payment receipt, in order for you to be able to make all your remittances on time, and also when you want to renew, there won't be any problems. Then if you need assistance, you have to consider hiring a professional who will assist you, and you have to earmark the sum of 100,000 to 150,000 naira in order for you to be able to carry out all the documentation without any issues. So implementing these tips will help you avoid common pitfall and ensure your application is processed quickly and accurately. Let's now take a look at how the ITF compliance certificate benefits your business in securing contracts. Many government and private contracts require this certificate, so it makes it very important when you are bidding for any government or big private contract. So you have to have your ITF documentation in place if you want to bid for government contract. And also it confirms that your company meets all statutory obligations regarding employee social insurance and, most importantly, training. And also it boosts the credibility. A compliant company is seen as more reliable and responsible, enhancing your business reputation. And also it gives you a competitive edge. Being ITF compliance, you reduce legal risk and gain better chance of securing high value contracts. So in essence, the certificate not only helps you comply with the law, but also significantly enhances your market positioning when you are competing for contracts. So on a final thought, let's now have a quick review. The first, you have to understand your obligation. The ITF compliance certificate proves that your company meets all statutory social insurance and training contributions. And when you want to get this compliance certificate, you have to gather the necessary documents. You prepare such documents as your CAC certificate, your tax identification number, your payroll records, and proof of contribution. Once you have all those documentations in place, then you have to enroll with ITF, submit your application, and remit 1% of your yearly payroll for eligible companies. You have to do that on time so that you will avoid paying 5% as a penalty. And you have to use your ITF compliance certificates to ensure your chances of winning government and private contracts. So I encourage you to visit the official ITF website regularly for updates and detailed guidelines. So securing the ITF compliance certificate is not only a legal necessity, but also a competitive strategy that enhances your business credibility and contract eligibility. Thank you very much for your attention, and now welcome any question you may have regarding the ITF compliance certificate process. Okay, for a more personalized consultation, further guidance, and additional resources on how to obtain an ITF compliance certificate in Nigeria to facilitate securing a government and private contract, you may wish to visit our website to access detailed guides, case studies, and expert insights designed to keep you informed of the latest regulatory updates and best practices. You may also wish to partner with us to leverage our deep industry knowledge and take the next step towards obtaining an ITF compliance certificate in order to facilitate securing a government and private contract in Nigeria. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to download this presentation for future reference. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more valuable content such as this. Thank you.